Sohail, and then in the follow-up is Bruno.
Lovely ball through, Wahda Jazira. Stayed on this left-hand side. Digs it out to Adnok.
Yes, it's 1-1. 4-3. He gets it. The next. And what a goal! What a goal! A world-class goal.
Steps up, shuffle, and puts it in the corner.
Rahimi! Omar Kabir equalises for Wahda. Diarra and Kabir and poked home.
Hello everyone and welcome to Final Score, your guide to every goal and every talking point from another very busy and dramatic week in the Adnok Pro League. It was match week 5 and it didn't disappoint. The big games were indeed big. Two of the big winners from last season had difficult matches, but other teams are maintaining their perfect start to the season. We'll go through all of it with you tonight. Of course, I've got my full squad with me in the studio as well. UAE football legend Ibrahim Diaki, reporter extraordinaire Amy Gillingham, and the walking encyclopedia of UAE football, Pedro Correa, of course. Amy, let's start with you, ladies first. It was such a big week with some great matches, but it was a lot of unpredictable results, which is great for us, lots to talk about, but it makes it really interesting for the clubs themselves who think they're going to win matches and they're just not winning them.
Yeah, absolutely, Graham. And I think if we look at the table alone, we can already see the gaps starting to emerge, which, yes, it's only match week 5, but there's some really interesting gaps at the moment, in particular, Elaine and Al Wasl, you know, the reigning champions of UAE, the reigning champions of Asia, and two real shock results this weekend, which I'm excited to talk about.
Pedro, the shocks, I mean, that's what we love, as I'm saying, but they are real shocks, aren't they?
We love, some other people don't. Yeah, some shocking final scores, some shocking results. Mostly 33 goals were scored. I think right now it might have been the best round of the league up until this moment in terms of the offensive productivity. We still have two teams with a perfect record and other teams, as you said, with a record that is not as perfect.
I'd agree with that, Ibrahim. The best round of the season so far, the goals, the number of goals, the type of goals, the results, it had everything match week 5.
Yes, Graham, if you remember last week, I say 5 weeks will be very interesting.
Yes.
So I'm very glad and happy and satisfied with the result because it was a lot of goals scored. So we have a lot of things to talk about.
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's start with Pedro's favourite bit, the stats from the week, the Pro League in numbers. Here we go then. Goals, we are now up to 135 goals per game, creeping up to my number. I want 4. I need 4 goals per game. That's what I'm always looking for. Penalties, 13. Clearances, 1,116. That's a very specific number. Clean sheets, 10. Not many teams managing to keep their oppositions out already this season. Let's look at the results then. This is what we're going to go through on Final Score tonight. It was a dramatic week. Al Jazira back to winning ways, 2 in a row for them. 6-1 away at Dibba Al Hissan, finding life in the top flight extremely difficult. Al Nasr also back to winning ways, 3-1 win at home to Ajman. Kalba, a good 3-0 win against Al Bataeh. One of the shocks of the week, Khorfakkan, a 4-3 win away at the champions Al Wasl. Shabab Al Ahli maintained their perfect start to the season with a convincing 5-1 win in Abu Dhabi against Banias. Sharjah, same for them, 100% record so far. They won 2-1 at home to Al Orooba. And our match of the week, of course, was that dramatic night at the Hazard bin Zayed Stadium. The Asian champions Al Ain beaten in the Abu Dhabi Classico 2-1 by Al Wahda. So this is the table as things stand. Al Ain and Kalba do have that game in hand. I think it's going to be vital for Al Ain as we get nearer to the end of the season. But as things stand, Sharjah and Shabab Al Ahli maximum points, 15 points from their 5 games. Al Wahda move up to third, 5 points off the top. Jazira and Nasr in 9 points. Al Ain Kalba have 7 points each. Down the bottom, Al Wasl, the champions, remember, from last season, they slipped to the bottom half of the table. Banias on 7, Khorfakkan 6, Al Bataeh 4, Ajman 3. Not good reading for Al Orooba and Dibba Al Hissan. 5 games played, no points on the board. Goal scoring charts. Sardar Azmoun, what a start to his season he's having. What a start to life in UAE football. 5 goals already, same as Al Nassr's Adel Tarabt. Yusufu Niakate leading the line for Banias. It was a difficult night for them this week, but he's still getting the goals for the club. Omar Kerbin as well on 5, and Carl Lucas also on 5. Everybody on 5 goals. It's going to be a close run thing for the Golden Boot as well. All right then, let's get started then. Our match of the week was at the Hazza bin Zayed Stadium. Pedro, myself and Ibrahim were here. Amy was at the stadium. What an atmosphere it was, Amy. And what a result as well for Al Wahda. First half really was all about Al Ain. They had total possession pretty much. Sufyan Rahimi scored the goal. You kind of thought it was going to be their night, but then things changed with that penalty.
Yeah, very much a game of 2 halves, Graham. First and foremost, the type of game, exactly what spectators want to see. It was very, very anticipated across the UAE, but it certainly didn't disappoint. There's so much animosity between those 2 clubs, and the rivalry is just like no other. The game itself, Al Ain were the better side in the first half. Al Wahda, they were just a little bit slow at times to get back the midfield and the attacking threat that Al Ain brought. They just couldn't catch up in time. I think that was all down to a few of the bold decisions that Ronnie Dealer set in place. You know, he looked at a 3-5-2, brought on 3 players that haven't really had much game time at all in the start of this season, and for a long time as well, the likes of Shamsi, Ogbu and Facundo. And I think it took them the first half to kind of figure things out and actually do what Ronnie wanted them to do. But in the second half, my, they certainly delivered. And the risk that Ronnie Dealer took, it really paid off for me. And just to kind of highlight the new coaching staff that Al Wahda have, you've got the likes of Kenny Miller, former Rangers, Celtic and Scottish international. Also Elliot Parish, he's the new goalkeeper coach. And I think it's really going to be, alongside obviously Ronnie Dealer, the new head coach, I think it could be a new mentality for Al Wahda. And I'm looking forward to what they can do the rest of the season.
We'll talk a bit more about Al Wahda in a second, but Ibrahim, let's focus on Al Ain a little bit. And defensively, were there big mistakes? We talked about it on the night, didn't we, when we were live? Obviously giving away the penalty, that's a defensive mistake, but also the winning goal from Facundo Kropski was just defence that we're not used to seeing Al Ain, just not picking up players, not tracking anybody at all.
Yes, as I said last time, Al Ain was not expecting Al Wahda to perform like that, because when you are having a Clasico, you are waiting to see a game, an open game, attacking and defending from both sides. But Al Wahda, when they came there, they were ready. They play very compact, very great block. And when I look at there is 2 mistakes happen in this action. First of all, 5 players, 3 players from Al Wahda. It's important for the defenders to look always where the striker is located. And now there is no marking. And then the second mistake, you have to follow the ball. When the goalkeeper releases the ball, it should be automatically in the mentality of the defenders to always follow. Facundo actually did the right thing as a striker. Always you have to follow, because the goalkeeper might release the ball and then you score. So it was very important for the defender to have that also, the same reaction.
I think it's quite fitting, Pedro, that they had little question marks over their heads on our graphic there, because that was the what are they doing? What's happened? Why are they not tracking the players?
I feel like Al Ain defensively switches off a bit from the game. They are a very offensive-minded team, like they should. They are a very big team, a very good team. But defensively, I think they switch off a little bit. And I believe they are very reactive defensively instead of being proactive. So instead of trying to get the ball, to regain the possession, they were kind of waiting for Al Wahda to lose the possession, to give it away. It's the marking, as Ibrahim said, inside the box. Nothing to add there. I agree totally with him. But also to mention that Al Wahda is exchanging passes already close or into the last third, or in this case, the first defensive third of Al Ain. They are outnumbered. Al Ain has more players there. And Al Wahda is just exchanging passes, you see, with barely no close opposition. It's with less players, they are touching the ball among them. And there is not much of a pressure like closing down and being aggressive to try to regain the ball. Basically, Al Ain is just waiting for a mistake or for Al Wahda to lose the possession. Everything is very reactive, it's very passive. And this is just a question of changing this mindset of preparing the team to react in a different way whenever they don't have the ball.
Just to jump on the back of that as well, if you just look at that set play there in the goal from Facundo, yes, there was two mistakes which you mentioned there, Ibrahim. Obviously, Omar Kerbin wide open for the free header, no contest at all. Facundo comes in, there's no reaction to the rebound, but Khalid Issa, he needs to be parrying that left or right. You cannot parry that in front of goal. It's bound to, bound to get punished with something like that.
Former goalkeeper tip. Huh?
Former goalkeeper, exactly. So obviously it was not a great night for everyone associated with Al Ain Club, but for Al Wahda, the new regime are showing that they really have what it takes. It sparked their season into life, and after the final whistle, Amy Gillingham caught up with some of the core new members of Al Wahda.
Kenny, first of all, congratulations, a win in the El Clasico. Your first experience, does that take you back to the old firm games?
Listen, it was certainly intense. At times, a lot on the line in these big games. Everybody know what it means to the players, to the fans, to the clubs. And what we're up against at times, we have to defend well. They're a very, very good team. But to get the result was away from home as well as an excellent 3 points for us moving forward. We're early in the job, 5 games in. Again, we're learning every week about new teams and players and how to approach these games. So today was a big step forward for us. Yeah, listen, there is a lot of good teams in it, and Al Ain are right at the top of that for me. Yeah, I've watched them a few times now, and they're a very good team, good staff. Really, really good players, and it's tough to come here. We were here watching them in the first game of the season, and you can see when they get on top of you, they make it very, very tough for you to get out of your own half and things. So, like I said, it's a big 3 points for us. I mean, we stood up to that test today. I thought we limited them to a couple of good chances, which to do that against that team is achieving something. And when we got our chances, we took it. So it was a good game, wonderful experience. Again, like you say, that classical between these two teams is the first experience. That is very good. Passionate teams as well. Everybody cares about what it means and getting those 3 points. So it was a good day at the office.
It was a nice atmosphere and a nice stadium, and also when we had so many fans from ourselves as well, it was good. And it was a tough game against a good team, but then we pulled out a very, very good performance and get 3 points. They can't be better than that. You can feel that it means something for people and our fans as well. And I'm so happy and that so many meet up and supporters like they've done this season, and that we can give something like that back to them. That's huge. And also we show ourselves that we are able to beat anybody. And we need to see that, because we have a very good environment, and that I think we show today, that we were a family on the pitch. We fight together. And that's a good foundation to build something more. I think in the first half, the goal they score is pure quality. It was really, really good. We were organized. There were 1-2 on the side, and we get run off in the center of the pitch. And we knew that they could do that, but that's something we need to get on that tempo that they are used to. But we were nothing on the ball. And we need to be braver on the ball, and I think we were better in our pressure, so we won the ball a little bit higher in the pitch. At the same time also we kept the ball more in the second half, and then we always get opportunities, because Al Ain, as I said to them, they have conceded goals in every game they played this year, so we knew we were going to score. It's just about not conceding too much, and today was one, and to be fair, they didn't have a lot of chances out there. They had one in the first half that we had a good save. But rather than that was the handball. So we defended in a very good way.
A very good feeling. My first win, I was really happy. I think we did a great job. We played together, we defend together. That made the win more beautiful. if you're a footballer, you want to play games like this, you know, derby like this, when it's intense, when everyone wants to win. So I really enjoy it. And if I can do this again, I would do it again.
All smiles from the Al Wahda camp, and rightly so. A great 2-1 win for them against Al Ain in the Abu Dhabi Classico. So, last season's Asian champions lose. What about last season's Adnok Pro League champions? Well, they lost as well. Their second loss of the season already for Al Wasl. It was a 7-goal thriller against Khorfakkan. Ibrahim, this is one of those results that you probably wouldn't have predicted. We'll talk about Khorfakkan's achievements in the game, but for Al Wasl, this is quite a blow for their defence of their title.
What a great performance from Khorfakkan. They went there very confident. They knew what the task was, to try to get the 3 points. They were not scared. They attacked, and they play very compact also. And the organization, the combination, the group spirit was there. I think that's what made the team win. They won that game with such a class and confidence that is really impressive. And I think if they continue like that, they have a long way, a good result to do.
It was Perez who opened the scoring for Al Wasl, then Keita equalised for Khorfakkan. Jimenez then put Al Wasl back in front. An own goal from El Rife made it 3-1 to Al Wasl, but then 3 goals in the last 30 minutes for Khorfakkan from Pavlov, Oliveira and Saeed Ahmed turned the game around in Khorfakkan's favour. As Ibrahim's saying, it was a terrific performance from Khorfakkan, and we can't take anything away from that, even though the headline is that the champions lost.
But credit must be given to Khorfakkan in this case. They were 3-1 down. Of course, the red card also helped somehow for the outcome of the match, but that does not justify it all. Great attitude by Khorfakkan. They were short in the offense in the previous rounds. In this round, adding already they had Lorenzi from last season even. They added Mateus Oliveira. Mateus Oliveira, number 10, is a very good player. I also know him from the Portuguese league. He is son of the former 1994 World Cup winner for Brazil, Bebeto. And he's a very good player, now playing in his position and role as number 10, as a playmaker. Plus, they are adding to that Pedro Henrique up front, also a very decent striker, a Brazilian striker, also played in Portugal. So they were somehow short in the previous rounds in the offense, and now they have that quality up front also to hurt the opponents. Good attitude. Defensively, it's always the trademark of any team coached by Daniel Ezaila to be good defensively, to be compact, to be solid. With this quality up front, this is probably the first upset of many that they will have throughout the season on the bigger teams.
So let's talk about Al Wasl then. It's quite similar to Al Ain, really. Defensively, this seems to be where their problems are at the moment. If we look a couple of moments in the game, Al Wasl, again, like Al Ain, seem to be having similar stuff, especially down the sides as well. They're not being able to stop teams attacking them at the moment.
Yeah, and it was interesting when I actually spoke to Milos Milojevic in the Al Ain game when they lost. He was highlighting that there is a gap at the back at the moment. Defensively is where they really need to focus. And yet again, against Khorfakkan, repeating the same information. So something needs to be done, obviously dramatically. Yes, they were missing Buftini at the back. Also another red card this game. You know, that is going to reduce their defensive tactics. But still, that they're not making changes or enough changes that we need to see.
Yeah, and we're seeing some examples there. You're just not tracking. Again, it's a bit like what we're talking about with Al Ain, isn't it? That perhaps the roles aren't as defined, or maybe the communication is lacking at the moment at the back.
You know, Graham, being a champion last season, it doesn't make it easy for Wasl, because all the teams that they will play against them, they will play with like not 100%, 200%. So, but what is remarkable in that victory of Khorfakkan, the confidence, the character. Because so many teams, they need to take example on Khorfakkan, because they knew the type of opponent they had in front of them, especially in the Wasl field. It's not easy to beat them. But they went there with the confidence, the character. They played in block. They played very solid. And the accuracy with the passes, everything was done correctly. So that's why they won the game.
Great result for Khorfakkan then, beating Al Wasl. Al Wasl slipped down to 8th, Khorfakkan now in 10th. Let's move on then to Sharjah at home to Al Orooba. 5th win in a row for Sharjah. They are top of the table on goal difference from Shabab Al Ahli. Kyle Lucas getting 2 goals for Sharjah, both from the penalty spot. Abdullah Anwar getting 1 back for Al Orooba, 5 minutes to go. But impressive stuff from Sharjah. Kind of in the last few weeks, I've been saying they're quietly going about their business. There's nothing quiet about it. They're at the top of the table. They've won every game they've played.
Coach Cosman is all about this, pragmatic. Not much of a big win. It's just 2-1.
Yeah.
Many credits on Orooba. There are no moral wins in football, but I believe this performance by Al Orooba against Sharjah at Sharjah's home ground, it's something that they can take for the rest of the season as a motivation. Getting back to Sharjah, defending very well, only 2 goals conceded in 5 rounds. Sometimes for very long periods of the game, they don't even allow the opponent to have a shot on the goal. So sometimes goalkeeper Adel Al-Hosni is basically having a day off. Credit to his teammates, not just the defenders, the whole thing. The fact that goalkeeper Adel Al-Hosni is back, Shaheen Abdulrahman, the central defender, Majid Hassan, the midfielder. Firas Ben Larbi also, he was injured towards the end of last season, plus the great form of Caio justify a great teamwork, a great collective performance. A detail here, Sharjah has not been in the losing end of a match yet. They are always going ahead. I want to see, whenever that happens, how they will react.
Okay, well, they're reacting pretty well after 5 games. They're top of the league. And also with the perfect record, Shabab Al Ahli, who were in Abu Dhabi away at Bani Yas, and they came away with a big 5-1 win. It was Milivojevic who got them off the mark on 34 minutes. An own goal from Niakate made it 2-0, but then Niakate got one in the right end for Bani Yas to make it 2-1, but then the floodgates opened a little bit for Shabab Al Ahli. Sadr Azmoun still scoring, Dabur still scoring, and Ezzatullahi getting a penalty in the 90th minute. Ibrahim, this is a great performance from what is a great team now, Shabab Al Ahli.
Yeah, definitely. They have a great squad, and obviously Paulo Sousa is doing a great job there. You can see the way how they play, the harmony between the player, the combination, the way how they understand each other, and that's very important. And you can see that the confidence of the player also is there. And what I like the most is the competition between Dabur and Sadr. Sometimes when Sadr scores, Dabur will, when he come in, he want to show, he want to score too. So that also helping the team to do always well. Of course, having the maestro Kartabia in the back. Yeah. I mean, this is he's in charge. He is the monitor. He controls everything that is going on in Shabab Al Ahli midfield. And I think this season, Shabab Al Ahli is one of the teams that are going for the title.
One of the reasons, Amy, why they are doing so well, obviously they're great in open play, but set pieces, they are fantastic, aren't they? And they're doing a lot of work with the head coach during the week and working out things, and it's paying dividends when you've got the players who can do what the head coach wants them to do with the set pieces.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the players that they've recruited this season, the likes of Sadr Azmoun, alongside Kartabia, Caesar, Gilhame, Renan, like they've just built this superior team. And I think this season, like you're saying, the set pieces, they're finishing a lot more than they did in the previous seasons, and that's something that perhaps may have let them down last season and why they were always chasing Al Wasl's tail. But in terms of their play at the moment, and also just looking at their defensive back line, so they've only had 8 goals against. Yes, it's 8, but if you look at the goal that they conceded against Bani Yas, it was a good ball in, it was a good goal. Yes, they conceded, but I think Bani Yas, it was an excellent goal from them.
When you look at the set pieces, they have so many players forward, don't they, to latch on to things, and like it's a bit like the Wahda goal against Al Ain. You have players there who are backing them up. So if something happens, like Krupski scored for Al Wahda, other players are there to react. And if the defences aren't switched on, they're going to finish these off, and they're doing that time and time again.
Physically, the team is tall, especially in the back. Planic, Renan, then even Sardar is very tall. So The aerial power is there, but credits also on the delivery. It looks like the ball is under a remote control from Cartabia. It goes directly, it's a pinpoint cross, and I credit a lot also on the deliveries there. And the way they clearly work these set pieces will in the end pay off for them.
Okay, let's move on then. Shabab Al Ahli and Sharjah then, perfect record, top of the table. Al Jazira, I think they found their feet now. They got a good win, 6-1 away at Dibba Al Hissan. Their third win of the season so far. It's a bit of a shaky start for the first few games. They seem to have got things together now. This was a great win for Al Jazira and really needed for them as well. I think they needed a big win like this.
Glad and happy to see that they're coming back slowly to the level. And I saw a different Jazira in that game. People might think that Dibba Al Hissan was an easy game, but it's a test. Because if you cannot perform well against the type of team who are taking a lot of goals, it shows that there is a lot of problem in the team. But that game, the 6-1, I mean, I'm really satisfied with the way how the organization was. It's very important that they have to play in block. We spoke about it last season. They were a bit disorganized in the midfield, and there is no compatibility between the players. But in this game, we saw different Jazira, who was playing compact, and the build-up also, the ball possession from the back to the front was done correctly. And you can see also the atmosphere, the player, they understand each other. Even the new player just who came in, his first game, and he scored. Yeah. And you can see the support from the other teammates, and I think that made the difference.
Yeah, Melo getting his first goal after 5 minutes. Bruno getting 2 goals. Ramon Mires, their new Argentinian signing over the summer, getting a couple of goals. And the big man from Arsenal, Mohamed El Neni, getting a penalty as well. Kasama getting one back for Dibba. For Dibba, though, this is tough, isn't it? This is life in the top flight, but it's after a while when you start to have these results all the time, it must be hard to get up for a game.
Yeah, and we've obviously seen the first sacking of the season, Kaya Zanardi, we've said farewell to him. I mean, it's always going to be tough stepping up to the top flight, and I think I mentioned it last week, they've made so many changes, it's just going to take so much time for them to gel as a unit. But at the moment, nothing's working for them. Yes, it was a fantastic goal, I have to highlight Madana Kasama. His goal was brilliant, but you can't just rely on the off chance that you get one striker on goal. Al Jazira, they had 14 shots and then 9 on target, but you know, they just completely dismantled Dibba. The goalkeeper, Sahel Abdullah, I think he is a good goalkeeper. We saw him with Al Wasl on loan from Emirates, and at Emirates he had a really good spell, but it wasn't his night. Really struggled.
Certainly wasn't Dibba's night. They are bottom of the table, conceded 18 goals now so far, no points on the board. Let's move on then to Al Nasr. 3-1 win at home against Ajman. Alfred Schroeder will be really pleased with that. And who will be more pleased than anybody else is Ali Mabkut to get a couple of goals, as well. Everyone loves to see Ali Mabkut scoring. But to get 2 goals there, that kind of really puts his feet under the table of being an Al Nasr player, doesn't it?
It's, in the end of the day, it's just another day in the office for Ali Mabkut. A slightly complicated match for Al Nasr because of the opponent. Ajman is a very organized team, very well organized team with a coach that knows the league quite well. They were 1-0 up through Walid Azaro, but then Al Nasr managed to come back. It was an important win for Al Nasr because they were coming in from 2 back-to-back losses, also 3-1. Yeah. I think in the end of the day, Al Nasr needs to adjust some things. They are the second best attack in the league with 14 goals. They average second in terms of ball possession with 59%, so they love to have the ball, etc. They need to improve certain things, but I also understand that the way they play, their tactical setup, their strategical setup, makes it at times very hard for the opponents to deal with because it's an unusual way to play in our league. So sometimes they find spaces where they are usually not there. And Ajman struggled a little bit with that.
As you say, it was Azaro who got the first goal for Ajman, and then it was Toure that equalised. And then Ibrahim Ali Mabkut, let's talk about him. 2 goals, striker to striker. We've got a few examples of his positioning. What makes him such a good striker? You know better than anyone. A couple of examples here of his work rate on and off the ball.
Oh, he's a very smart striker. He knows exactly where to be and sometimes how to come into the midfield to participate in the ball possession, and then try to find the space in the front line. And I think it's a great signing from Al Nasr. It will be a great value because he knows, he understands the league, he has enough experience, and he scores so many goals. So sometimes some goals are like deja vu.
Yeah.
He can just repeat the same action. He knows where to be, and he can feel where the ball can be. But I would like to come back. For example, if you see that goal now we are watching now, they're giving too much space sometimes to some strikers. And
well, here he is now.
Exactly.
Look how much space he's got.
He will Ali. This is his quality. He knows. He stay always between the two defenders, and every time he try to be free to find that space. It's important for the defender also to understand, to look where your striker is, then to stay closer to him, then he cannot score. But Ali knows how to do that, so it's very difficult. Even if you know where he will be, sometimes he knows how to get away and score the goal.
Brilliant performance then from Al Nasr. That moves them up to 5th. Ajman are now 12th. They've got 3 points though, 3 points above the relegation zone as it is so far. Finally then, Kalba, 3-0 win at home to Al Bataeh. This puts Kalba up on 7 points. They are level with the 2 trophy winners from last season, Al Ain and Al Wasl. Great position for them to be in. 3-0 win at home to Al Bataeh. Gayedi, of course, getting one of the goals, and then Godos and Spadaccio adding 2 more. Kalba are a tidy team. I don't know who wants to take this, but I think we all feel the same about Kalba. They're a very tidy team. They deserve, Amy, where they are in the middle of the table.
Yeah, and I think for me, Daniel Besser in midfield, he's one of the best midfielders in the league right now. He is such a leader on and off the pitch for Kalba. He really controls the midfield, and then having the likes of Mehdi Gayedi alongside in the wing, like, that is a perfect combination for Kalba right now, and they're really dismantling the back lines of many teams, and I think they're going to cause so many problems this season. But it's more so the control they have in midfield as well. Like Al Bataeh, they aren't an easy side to come up against, and we've seen Kalba face. Yes, perhaps they've had an easier run than others, but we've seen them cause many problems. And Al Bataeh, they did have a very good first half performance, I have to say. They had majority of the ball, but they just couldn't find the back of the net. And I think as Kalba just kept on continuing to take shots on goal, yes, they came away with 3 goals and were the better side. But also credit to Al Bataeh, because I think they did have a good first half. It wasn't a poor game from them. They just didn't find the back of the net. Just
one of those nights for Al Bataeh, who slipped down to 11th. Kalba, as I say, now in 7th. OK, let's look at our team of the week. Pedro, look through this lot. Wow, what a team that would be. Sardar Azmoun, what player he's proving to be already. He's crucial. Omar Kribin doing what he does. Is this the first time Mohamed El Neni has appeared on our team of the week? Maybe in week 1 he appeared, but there he is. Milivojevic as well. Gayedi, we were just talking about him. Who stands out there for you?
Goalkeeper Sultan Al-Mantari for Kalba also did quite well, and is helping a lot the team in their almost perfect defensive record. Kalba only conceded 3 goals up until this moment in the league. 2 of them were in the first match against Al Wasl. So imagine how well they have been doing. Also credit on Sultan for that. Bruno de Oliveira, with his first call-up to the UAE national team, played a very good match against Dib. I was there for commentary, so I saw it. He played very well. It's not just the 2 goals, it's more than that. He really had a good match. And Lucas Pimenta, the leader of Al Wahda backline, what a match he had against Al Ain, leading the backline. And somehow even the team is a bit of a technical and a personal leader of the team. He has that leadership personality, did quite well. I would also mention him. Let me give a hug here to Pedro Pavlov. He knows why.
Mehdi Gayedi.
Yeah.
Sardar. Omar, for me, and I would like to see also Kartabia.
Yeah.
Because he did a great last game also. But so far, all the other players, they deserve to be there.
And your best mate, Ronnie Dealer, Amy, up there as our manager of the week, deservedly so. What a pressure cooker of a night, and he came up with the goods.
Yeah, for me, the bold choices he made, they paid off. And I think going into that fixture, making those 3 changes was a real risk. I said it before in the analysis. But I think for me, him coming into Al Wahda, he's changing things and changing things for the better.
Yeah. It was
Fred,
a big night.
let me just mention this. Regarding Pedro Pavlov, it's about a personal issue he had, but he played the match anyway. He even scored a goal. So a big shout out for him on that.
Pretty good. Okay, we have picked out one player, though, that we're just going to talk about is Facundo Krupski, who's scored the winning goal on that big night at the Hazard bin Zayed Stadium. He's been at Al Wahda for a couple of seasons. He was a bit of a bit part player last season, but he's getting his chances now. Look at his heat map there. He's someone that Al Wahda have kind of been nurturing, and they're now starting to reap the benefits of that.
And it's another thing that Ronnie Deila brought for this match. This partnership between Facundo and Omar Kharbin can be interesting up front. Both players with lots of mobility, versatility, can play in several positions up front, can offer a variety of movements. And they really made it hard for Al Ain in this match. And I wonder if we will keep seeing them playing together up front in the upcoming matches for Al Wahda.
He's a polyvalent player. He knows where to move, and as a coach, you would like to have a player like him because he gives you so many options in the team. So, I mean, he's doing very well for Wasl. You can use him sometime to drop back a bit as number 10 in the midfield, sometime on the right wing, and sometime as striker. So, what better choice to have a player like this in the team?
Yeah, just to add on that, the physicality of him as well. He's not a big player, but he was very, very physical against Elaine, and I think that really helped them going forward.
Okay.
Picking up on what Amy is saying,
yes.
Abdullah Hamad, the midfielder, it's a bit the same. He's not physically that strong, but his attitude in the midfield is like a lion. And Wahda is building up a lot on what Amy was saying on this. Even though sometimes physically the player is not that big, but the mentality, the attitude is there.
Yeah, they want it more.
Okay, well, we could talk about this all night, but I've got to wrap up, I'm afraid. Ibrahim, Amy and Pedro, thank you as always. It is an international break now. The UAE going to play a couple of World Cup qualifiers. Good luck to them. But then we'll be back with match week 6 and Final Score as well, I'm sure. Until then, from everybody here at Final Score, good night.